So if you're watching this video, you're probably either a dad to be, or maybe someone who's just lost a lot of the free time that they used to have to play the games they love. This is a topic I like talking about quite a lot. I talk about it on my TikTok channel and the YouTube shorts. It's just getting used to maybe, not being selfish is the wrong word, but maybe having to put someone else before your enjoyment. Obviously, when you're young and single and maybe not in a job, you have plenty of time to play games, play the games you want to death. You don't have to maybe be so selective in the games you play, or maybe even how you play them, which I'll get onto later. But as you get older, you tend to get a job, which takes away some time. Then you maybe get a partner, that'll take away some time. Then you get responsibilities outside of that, take away more time. And if you're lucky enough, like me, to have a child, then it is a great reason to stop playing games so much. But it can take a little while to not wrap your head around, but maybe it's a shift. It is definitely a shift, and one that when they're not sleeping, or you're tired, or you've had a busy day, and you've been thinking about that new game release, or that game that you've just been thinking about playing in the background, and then you maybe just don't have the time to actually play it, or the energy, which is quite a common one, to be totally honest with you. But I would say I didn't play games as much for the first 6 months of my child's life, and then I barely played any games for the second 6 months. And now she's about a year and a half old, and I'm starting now to play games a few hours a day, maybe 2 hours a night. If I'm not spending time with my partner, I'll be watching a series. But I have a PC behind me, which I do get to play. I do get to sit next to it at this nice desk. But some days I just don't feel like doing that. Some days I'm too tired. Some days we put the baby to sleep, we both lie in bed, and then we're both not ready to go to bed, but don't want to sit at a desk all day, or even, and just sort of like feel a bit more formal. So how I choose to spend my time gaming is important now. So I used to be really into FIFA. I still play the odd game of FIFA now and then, but nowhere near as much. I feel like I don't have the time to, again, not waste, but a couple of games of FIFA I don't get as much out of as story games. So a big one for me now is more narrative games. So for example, I've been playing Resident Evil 2, which I know isn't known for its story as such, but the atmosphere, the setting, the lore, all the notes you read, very good. I played the Batman games this year. What else have I played? There's plenty that I've played. I like The Witcher 3, Cyberpunk. We've been making work with Cyberpunk for the last few months. Been really enjoying that. And I feel like when I get to bed at the end of the night, I've got a little bit more out of it than a few online games FIFA, a few online games of COD. And don't get me wrong, I love the social side of online gaming. So at the moment, me, my brother-in-law and his friend are all playing through Borderlands 4. And when I've played that with them, I get a bit of narrative, gameplay, and the social side, and I go to bed thinking to myself, oh yeah, I really enjoyed that. That was a really good use of my time. But those evenings then when I don't want to play on my PC, and I don't want to sit at a desk, I think what saved me the most, and made sure that I didn't drop off gaming completely in that second 6 months, is things like this. So, handhelds. I think the ability to play in the same room as my wife without really annoying her, just having something portable. I have a modded 3DS here as well. I have a Switch 2, I have a handheld PC. I am quite lucky and quite fortunate the options that I have. I'm not saying you have to go out and buy all those things. Maybe pick one, just try it. But some nights it's just nice to lay in bed. My wife can watch a series, I can play my game, make a bit of progress in a game that otherwise I would have made no progress in, on my PC. And then it can sound ironic, but I would just scroll YouTube and just watch idiots like me waffle about topics like this. And then my night would be over before I knew it. I'd be in bed, I'd be sleeping, up. Next day starts again, being dad starts again. and then work inevitably starts again. But I would say the biggest tip that I found is just don't let the thought of missing out on it bug you too much. What I mean by that is, some people know, is I'll have too many games to choose from. I won't actually ever get around to playing those games then, and then I'll sit there frustrated that I haven't played them. Now I just play what I want when I want. Like, I have a big backlog of games. I just cancelled my Game Pass subscription because there's too many games to choose from and the price hike. But I still pick up bargains and sales now and then. Like these two alone, like I've modded this and there's thousands of games of this. So if I really wanted to, I could just play this for, well, when I have 2 hours a night to play. The next 2-3 years, I wouldn't need anything else. But I do like to have options. Obviously, I don't like to just stick to one genre of games or one franchise of games forever. I like to have a bit of variety. But yeah, please let me know in the comments below. Has anyone else gone through similar? Is anyone else going through similar? Maybe people in the comments have a bit of advice on how to help other people. Maybe some affordable handhelds to get into handheld gaming for the first time. I didn't spend a crazy amount on those two. I think I bought the Vita for £70 and the 3DS for similar price was £60. Switch 2 is a lot more expensive then. I would say if you have the money, it is worth it. But if you're just sort of looking into dabbling in handheld gaming alongside what you already have, that wouldn't be the first port of call. Maybe the Switch 1, maybe a second-hand Switch 1. I think that'd be a lot more reasonable, a lot more digestible. Switch Lite, bought my wife a Switch Lite. I actually just gave it to my cousin's boy, but that's a good bit of kit. Portable again, very small form factor, in your pocket, off you go. In bed, you're not gonna, it's not obscene like my PC handheld is huge, and when I pull that out, it's loud, the fans whir up, the screen's huge and bright, so obviously someone tries to sleep next to you, that's the best thing ever. And the type of games I play out there are loud, like guns firing, story, like swords clashing. Whereas some of these games, when you like Pokemon, Digimon, sort of like low key. But yeah, let me know in the comments below any questions, any advice people seeking. Let me know any future videos you'd like to see on this topic. It's something that I like talking about. I find that when I was on Reddit or watching YouTube and people in the same boat as me, it kept me a bit sane, thinking that one day the baby will sleep and I get more free time. And that really comforted me. So yeah, anyone go through a similar experience, let me know, and then have a good evening.